Talk to us about, bringing the Haught to the audible.
To the audible.
Yes.
I mean, it's great. We just got to play so much in this medium and try so many different things and kind of go crazy. And it was nice to just get to hear all the voices again, but also be in the studio together. And I've been saying it was kind of like theater. Like it was such a live aspect of it, not having to worry about where's the camera and like setting up for a next shot. Scenes took 20 minutes when they would usually take hours. It was just such a fascinating medium to work in. Yeah, with a character that you know so well. So very cool. Yeah.
Was it harder to get into character, not being on set, not being in costume?
Yeah, you know what? I'm so grateful. We shot the Tubi special Vengeance, and literally I think 6 weeks after we wrapped, we recorded these. I'm really grateful for that because I do think it would have been hard, because for me as an actor, I rely so much on my costume. It really does help me a lot get into character. So I felt like recording this. I think I would have had a harder time had I not just come off of shooting. So I'm very grateful about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because we actually asked the other two about that, and they really didn't have, anything that they use. And you said you like getting into the costume. I would think so too. Is there anything else you do as well as the costume? You like think of something?
For me, it's also dyeing my hair. I'm not a natural redhead, and it's such a distinct Nicole color for me. So that process is
also, you actually dye. You just don't put like a temporary wig.
No. We tried actually. We did try for the special because the dye. I was pregnant and the dye it's a lot. So we tried to wig me and it looked so bad. We actually had to reshoot a scene because the wig didn't work. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm a really big give me a prop, give me a costume, give me something because I think, and now more so with Nicole, but especially early days, I think I always thought of her as so much more confident than I am, and so I needed that grounding. And when you put on that uniform, you feel so powerful. And I think, especially as a young actor, I really needed that uniform to feel powerful and brave. Now I'm older, I'm more confident. I'm more jaded. I don't know. I'm older, right? I have more life with me now, and that helps a lot. Yeah.
Which do you prefer, voice acting or regular?
Oh man, I mean, there's something so freeing about the voice experience because you're like, I don't care what, I'm in my sweatpants, I was bouncing on my pregnancy ball all the time, I was just so, it was just my voice, and I didn't have to think about what are my hands doing, or this is awkward, this feels weird, why did I make that face, all those insecure things that come up, that it was literally just performance. I didn't care what I looked like, and that was really freeing as an actor. Yeah, and getting to be with everybody and doing the scene so quickly.
So your voice acting, you guys are together or separate?
We were, for the most part. I would say I was in the room with 80% of the people that I had my scenes with, I was physically with. I was with Martina, I was with Varun for Jeremy, who else was I with? I was with Robin Dunn, we were with the Giants, so I was with Greg as Nedley. There was a couple of characters I never met. The paramedic, whose character's name is completely escaping me, London. Never met London. There was a few characters that we had an amazing actor who was doing basically all the parts of people who weren't there to fill them in, but it wasn't.
I was just going to say, do you have a picture there or something like that?
No, nothing. No, I've never met these people. I have no idea what, we could walk by each other on the street and I wouldn't know, even though we've acted in a scene together. It was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Were you given the story ahead of time when you were doing the Audible series, knowing what your characters gonna be doing for those episodes?
Yeah, we were given it kind of like when we shoot, we were given the scripts ahead of time so we could read through everything and basically just do the same work that we sort of do when prepping for shooting.
Okay. I was gonna say if it was almost the same as doing the original series, but it seems like guess a little similar, like work-wise.
Yeah, it was similar and different, but it was, getting to read the scripts beforehand and sort of prep them emotionally, I guess. It was the same kind of process. It was more the actual recording of it that was very different.
So yeah, like different takes that you had to do, like when you were reading the lines?
Yeah. So we would do we had an amazing director who would really help us shape the performance. So this is what you're looking at right now, this is where you're coming from, this is just because how you interpret a script. I was reminded how widely different it can be, the way you read something, the way I read something and envision it could be so different. So having that director to kind of guide the conversation or guide the, okay, this is the giant, especially those big action scenes where you're like, how do I, am I throwing something? Well, how big is it? Throwing this across the room versus throwing a 30-pound weight, very different kind of how it would come out of your body. So you get really specific about things that you don't when someone just goes, here's your prop. You're like, okay, well, so much of that is still in for you. So that was really interesting. And it was I never would have thought how integral the direction would be, but it was so important. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about voice acting is hearing how you have to do some weird action or thought of something to make a specific sound.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you were like, oh, we had to, do jumping jacks to get this specific sound out of my body?
Yeah, totally. And we would do different takes too. So it's here's 4 options of lifting this thing. Here's kissing. Here, and then they just have a bank of effort sounds or a bank of kissing sounds, and then they pull the one they want and shape the whole thing, which is so fascinating.
And how did they make kissing sounds?
Just on the back of your hand, nothing fancy. Yeah, but it's interesting. Also, you are giving a lot of your performance. I mean, when you're filming, you're giving a lot of the power into the editor, because once you do it, you don't know what take they're going to use, right? In audio, you're giving a lot of those little moments, pacing and what take they're going to use, and sometimes they could use, a take of this line, a take of that line, which they can in the edit, but more so in the audio.
What did you like most about your story in the series?
I really enjoyed filling in the 18 months away with Rachel, Nicole, when Waverly was gone. I really enjoyed, Nicole was so dark, and I only ever saw her before and her after of that. But that was 6 weeks into Waverly being gone, so it was really fresh and really early. And just the relationship with Martina, with Rachel, I think that particular audio filled that in for me a lot. Yeah. Whereas I had only imagined it, but it was really cool to see what a writer's take would be on it, what Emily's take would be on it, and actually it's played out. And so often we see Nicole in such a good place. It was nice to go back and explore that dark place for her again. It was very interesting. Yeah.
Would you consider this a rebirth of the whole series, because you guys have the new Tubi series starting and then the Audible? Is this a rebirth for new
It does
fans?
feel like that. I mean, I would be foolish to get my hopes up, because I don't know what will happen, and I don't want to get my heart broken. But I do think the proof of how dedicated the fan base still is, how hungry they are for more material, how engaged they are online, those are things that make a massive difference to these new networks that are coming on board to carry the show forward. And I think, our fan base is so incredible, so passionate, and so loud, and those are the things we need to keep making more. So yeah, I have this line in Vengeance that says it feels less like a reunion and more of a reboot. And I love that when I read it, because it does. I mean, we're back doing New York Comic Con. Never thought I would come back, but here we are, So it's incredible. And this show has always been a surprise after a surprise after, I didn't even know what a Comic Con was when I joined Wynonna Earp. So everything has been an incredible gift and a surprise. So I wouldn't put past Wynonna Earp to come back.
So let's say if you were to do another season of both the Audible and the TV, what would you like them to add?
Yeah, I mean, I love Nicole's dark side because I don't get to play in that very much. So I love to play any sort of darker version of Nicole. I loved playing the character Eve in the series. I would love to get to explore like what does that look like.
Did you like special guests like other shows, like have people just come in from on and
That would be we've had so many good people on the show that I'm like, oh my gosh, what else could we ask for? But
what else can you have?
yeah, like we've had such incredible, like everyone, all these incredible actors that have come on the show. But I think
Who would be your ideal guest to come on?
oh my gosh.
They gave you, here she comes, Marie.
My ideal guest to come on the show. Well, I think it would be like we've had some of the Lost Girl cast come on. That would be really fun. I like anything I think the fans really love when there's characters from another show that a lot of them are really into crossing over. Maybe it would be cool to like, I don't know how you would ever do this legally, but bring an actual character from another show and drop them into the Earthverse. That would be really fun.
Maybe temporarily.
Maybe temporarily. I don't know. I'm sure it's like a legal nightmare. I don't know how that would work, but that would be fun. Yeah. Are we out of time?
No, she was walking over.
Oh, then she stops. Do you want to do another one or?
Come back to me.
Come back.
I have no,
Go for it.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, Tim was talking about how he brought all these like fan theories and everything to Emily. Did you ever do that? Like, did you pitch anything? Or?
No, I'm too shy. I don't feel like I'm smart enough to pitch to Emily. I very purposely don't read any fanfic because I just feel like I should stay in the universe that Emily's created, and also there's just like so much. It's like, what are you gonna read? Where are you gonna start? There's so much. I've heard about some of it through people, but I no. Tim is much braver than I. I would never suggest anything because I don't know. There's nothing I could say that would be better than what Emily's gonna do. That's how I feel. Yeah.
I don't mind me. I'm running away.
Hey, that's fine.
I'm just jumping in on the tape.
Well, amazing.
I'm probably going to miss you, but I'll catch you.
That's okay.